Example 2, using the quadratic formula. Solve. 2x squared equals x minus 4. Now the first thing you should notice here is that this equation is not in standard form. So the first thing we need to do is to rewrite it in standard form. To do that, we will need to subtract x from each side, and also we need to add 4 to each side. So let's go ahead and do that, because recall standard form is where all your numbers are on the left side and 0 is on the right. Now that the equation is in standard form, our next step is to assign values to the variables a, b, and c. Recall that the first term we call a, second term b, third term, the constant we call c. So the coefficient of a is 2. The coefficient of b is -1, and the coefficient of c is 4. So now we're going to take these values and simply plug them into the quadratic formula to do the math. Remember that a double negative equals a positive. Here we have -1 times -1, which is +1. Over here, we want to multiply these three numbers. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 4 is 32. With a negative in front of it, that becomes -32 over 4. Next, we need to perform the operation under the radical symbol, and that's going to give us -31. So recall that the square root of a negative number is not real. It's an imaginary number, so we're going to go ahead and extract the -1 out. That will give us I. That will come outside up front. And the 31 will remain underneath the symbol because it is not perfect. And that's our final answer. You could also write your solution as placing the common denominator of 4 underneath both terms. Because notice up top you have two terms. You have 1, and then you have on the other side I, square root of 31. Well, if you place the 4 underneath both terms, that's called writing it in standard form. So you would have your real number first, which is 1/4, and then you have plus or minus square root of 31 over 4i.